If you care about the real mechanics of survival history, not the romanticized version, this episode is for you. Before we go any further, subscribe to the Legacy of Survival channel and share this video with someone who still thinks food security is a modern invention. During the Second World War, millions of families did not survive on rations alone. They survived because they understood their local landscape at a level most people today never reach. What we call weeds today were once the difference between hunger and endurance. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through 7 plants that quietly carried entire households through wartime scarcity, plants that still grow freely in 2026 if you know where and how to look. What follows is not folklore. It is documented civilian survival practice, rooted in Europe, Britain, and occupied territories where access to food was unpredictable and often dangerous. The first plant that fed families when bread ran out was dandelion, a plant so common it was often ignored even then. During World War II, dandelion leaves replaced spinach in soups and stews, while the roots were roasted and ground as a coffee substitute when imports collapsed. Families harvested young leaves in early spring to avoid bitterness, boiling them once or twice to mellow the taste. Today, the same method applies. If you are building modern food resilience, you harvest early leaves, blanch them briefly, and combine them with stored fats to increase calorie absorption. The second overlooked survivor plant was nettle, feared for its sting, but relied upon for its nutrition. Wartime households treated nettles like a seasonal protein source. Once cooked, the sting disappears entirely, leaving a mineral-rich green used in soups, breads, and even ration-stretching dumplings. Families gathered nettles with wrapped hands, boiled them for several minutes, then reused the cooking water as a nutrient-rich broth. The same technique works today, especially when paired with stored grains or beans. Another plant that quietly kept people alive was lamb's quarters, sometimes called wild spinach. During the war, this plant grew in bombed lots, gardens and along fences, exactly where people could reach it without travelling far. Its leaves were cooked like spinach, while its seeds were sometimes dried and added to flour. A modern prepper can still harvest lamb's quarters, dry the leaves for winter use, and grind the seeds to stretch stored grain supplies. The fourth plant, chicory, became essential when coffee disappeared from civilian life. Chicory root was dug, dried and roasted until dark, producing a bitter beverage that replaced morale as much as caffeine. Leaves were eaten as greens, often mixed with milder plants to balance flavour. Today, chicory remains valuable not because it tastes good, but because it provides psychological continuity during scarcity, something wartime diaries repeatedly emphasize. Another forgotten staple was plantain, not the banana relative, but the broadleaf weed found in compacted soil. WWII families used plantain leaves in soups and boiled them like cabbage when nothing else was available. You know, seeds were sometimes mixed into bread flour. From a survival standpoint, plantain really matters because it thrives in abused ground. If roadsides and footpaths are all that remain accessible, plantain will still be there. Then there was purslane, a plant rich in fats, at a time when, honestly, fats were almost impossible to obtain. Purslane appeared in wartime gardens as an accidental crop, eaten raw when fuel was scarce or cooked into stews when possible. Families understood its value instinctively. Today, purslane remains one of the few wild greens with meaningful omega fatty acids, making it critical in low-resource diets. The final plant is sorrel, valued for its sharp taste when salt was rationed. Sorrel leaves added acidity to soups, improving flavour and preserving morale. During the war, small amounts transformed otherwise bland meals into something worth eating. In modern application, sorrel serves the same role, providing taste complexity when supplies are monotonous. What families during the Second World War really understood, and what, modern survival culture often forgets, is that these plants were not just emergency food. They were, in fact, integrated into daily routines. Harvesting took place on schedule, not just when disaster struck. Preparation methods were carefully refined over time, and this knowledge was quietly passed along within households, almost as a matter of course. If you decide to apply this today, you might start by learning just 2 plants each season, harvesting them responsibly, and, importantly, practicing your preparation methods now, rather than waiting until you absolutely need them. Oh, and don't forget to record what actually works in your own environment, since that's really key. These plants, they're still growing all around us. The real difference these days is not their availability, but rather our awareness of them. If this sort of grounded, historically accurate survival knowledge is important to you, do subscribe to the Legacy of Survival channel, share this episode with another serious researcher, and, let's keep this knowledge alive while it's still freely available.